What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video lesson here. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at another tune off the brand new Aerosmith and YungBlud record called Problems. Now, before I get into this one, as I do with most of my lessons, half of this lesson is going to be here on YouTube. Full thing's going to be over on my Patreon page. Same dealio with the tabs up here on the screen for the parts that I'm teaching, as well as if you sign up for the Patreon, I also give the PDF for the tabs as supplementary material so that you can follow along a little bit easier when you're learning the song. So if you're interested in that, that's going to be linked down in the description box below. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow it to 10K in the next, hopefully, year or so here. And so every little bit helps. Without any further ado, let's get right into this one. So it's going to be standard tuning, nice and easy. You don't have to switch with the tuning on your guitar. And you're going to be starting with just a regular D chord. So you're just going to add that third fret E. So second fret G, third fret D. And I would honestly just get right into the D position anyways, because you're going to be using that as well. And use your pinky to get the third fret of your E string there. So D, G, B, third fret E. And then you take your pinky off, and then you pluck up the strings, which is down the chord. Just like so, and you do it again. Now you switch to this next chord, which is a variation of a C chord. So it'll be third fret A, open D, open G, and then third fret B. And I'm plucking A, G, B, open E, and then G, B, G, A. So all together slowly. Just like that. And then full speed. And instead of coming back to your third fret A at the end of the bar here, you'll notice it goes to second fret. So it kind of sets up the next chord early. So I'm just switching from my second finger to my first, from the third fret to the second. So play that through. And then once you get into the next bar on the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So on the and of 1 is when you pluck the open G. Everything else stays in the same position as it was in the bar before. It's just that switch from your second finger to the first that changes. So don't worry about this third finger, it stays anchored. So. And now this bar is plucked much the same way as the last one. So you're on your second fret A already, and then open G, third fret B, open E, open G, third fret B, open G, and then second fret A. So all together from the top, 3, 4. And then it repeats itself one more time. And then you get to this lead part. So if you're a rhythm player and you just want to play the rhythms, that part continues underneath the lead. But I figured since we've already taught that and it's already available in the tabs, I would take a look at the lead part just for anybody that's interested in that. So you're going to go to your 15th fret, B, and I'm using my second finger here because you're going to have to go down to your 14. So start with your second finger on the 15 and it'll be plucked 3 times. Now, third finger on 17. You can use your pinky too if it's too much of a stretch. And now on your G, your first finger is going to grab the 14th fret, and that's why you start with your second finger. And that'll be 4 times on the 14th fret. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then back to your 17B, 1, 2, 3, 15B. Now you're going to go 14G, hammer onto 16. And then you'll pluck your 15B. So. And then you start it over again. So 3 times on 15B, 1, 2, 3, 17, 3. And now this time, instead of going to 14G, you're going to go down to your 12, and that'll be for 4 times again. Just like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, after playing the 12G, you're going to go back up to your 17B, do a half step bend. And again, it's in the same rhythm as the rest of these eighth notes. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So even though you're doing a little bend there, don't let it slow you down and fall out of time. So half step bend, then 17 on its own, and then 15B, 16G, and then 15B. Now it kind of repeats itself again. So the first part of this repeat is the same. So except this time when you get to that part, you're not doing a hammer on anymore. You'll just go to your 16G and your 15B. And then it carries on. And you're just kind of holding that 15th fret B. So on its own, out of context, it kind of sounds repetitive, but within the context of the song, it fits quite nicely. And so you'll play the 8 eighth notes in the first bar and then 6 eighth notes in the second bar there. And then you'll end on that quarter note so that you have time to go down and get set back into your position for the rhythm part. So now here in the verse, it's pretty much exactly the same as the way we did it in the intro with the chord progressions. So it goes through the same way. And then it repeats itself. And then later on in the verse, it hits this A major chord section. So again, similar to what we did with our D, I'm playing the A major chord as is. So I'm just using my first finger to bar, second fret D, G, B. And then your third finger or your second finger, whichever is comfortable, is going to come in and grab the third fret of your B. And that's because we're doing a similar thing to what we did with the D chord, where you'll strum A, D, G, and then third fret B. And then you'll take that off where your chord's already set to go. And then you'll strum back up the strings for the rest of the chord. So second, second, second. And that does it again. And now this next one is the same C position that we were doing before. And so you're strumming your A, G, B, E, B, G. And then when you go back to strum your A, again, you're switching your finger, your second finger to your first, from your third fret to your second. Like that. And be ready, because you're not holding that second fret A over the bar like you were before. So before we were doing this. Like that. This time. So it's a very quick transition into a G chord. So you play that. And now, because you're using your first finger, your second finger is ready to go right onto that third fret E. And again, your third finger is anchored here on that third fret of your B. Just let it stay there, because it's the same for both of those chords. And now with this G chord, it's E string, G, B, E, B, G. And then you go back to your A. Then back to the C, same way as we did it a couple bars ago. And this time, instead of going into your G, you're just going to go into a rest initially. So an eighth note rest, and you're going to use that time to get set for these power chords that you're going to play. So set. So it's going to be 8th fret A, 10th fret D and G. 1, 2, and 3. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's how you're going to feel that. So those first power chords, like I said, 8, 10, and 10, and then you're going to slide all the way down to 3A, 5D, 5G. And then you get to this part. So this is the chorus right here, and essentially what's happening is it's blending a mix of the riff from the verse and then a riff from the pre-chorus. So the first half is from the verse, and then the second half is from the pre-chorus, and they're adding those together. And that's why you've got the D chord initially. And then you get to the C. And then you're going into the G. So it's very similar, but it's different. So the first 3 chords essentially are the same as what you were doing in the verse, except you're plucking the C chord differently. You're plucking the C chord in the way that you did in the pre-chorus. So rather than holding that 2nd fret A, right? So and this time when you're on the G as well, when you get to that last note there, so it'll be E, G, B, E, B, G, you're just going to stay and hold that G for a whole quarter note rather than having it split as an 8th note. Then it repeats. And then we go back to the lead part, which we took a look at in the beginning there. And so this time it's again pretty much the same as what we did in the intro, but there are a couple things that vary. So let's take a look at that together. So starting off the same, 15th fret B with your 2nd fret or 2nd finger. So we've seen that before, exactly the same as you did it the first time. And then same with that. We've seen that one before as well. Now here's where it gets different. So it's a little bit of finger gymnastics, if you will. And so getting it slow first is going to be your best friend, and then speeding it up gradually from there will help. So 15th fret B, and then down, up, down on the 14th fret G. Then back to your 15B twice, and then 14G twice. Now you're going to slide down to your 12G for 2 plucks there as well. Then back to your 15B for 2 plucks. Then 11G. Then 15B, 2 plucks. Now all the way down to 5th fret B. So twice on 5th fret B. And then 5 times on 3rd fret B. 2, 3, 4, 5. And now you're going to do a little hammer on. So 2nd fret G, hammer on to 4G. And then 3rd fret B is where you'll end off there. So that last 2nd half, let's play that together slowly. 3, 4. And then the whole thing, the lead section, 3, 4. And then it goes into the next section of the song. Now that's where I'm going to end it off here on YouTube for today. If you guys found this lesson helpful, as I said in the beginning, the full thing's going to be over on my Patreon page along with supplementary tabs so that you can follow along and kind of make more sense of what I'm talking about rather than just a little image that's up here in the video. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave it linked down in the description box below. Your support is always appreciated. And if you're just sticking on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. As I said, it really helps out the channel, and we're trying to hit 10K sooner than later. So thank you guys for being here. And until next time, keep on rocking.